welcome to another episode of Trinidad Bhojpuri Words and a Phrase. Joining me for this episode on behalf of the Cutlass magazine, Vinay Harrichan. Hello, Vinay.
Hey, Karen.
And Dr. Visham Bhimull of Caribbean Hindustani.
सीताराम
Sitaram.
कैसन हाल सब कोई
Acha.
Acha.
Your attention, please.
Let's go with our Kaise Bole segment. How do you say in Hindustani? Kaise Bole me. Kaise Bole fruit in Hindustani. Kaise Bole fruit Hindustani me. And the common answer across the Facebook as well as on the radio episode. Pal. So Vinay, let's start with you.
Yes, so we did notice a lot of people answer with pal or pala, and pal is the more Hindi word for fruit. However, I did notice some Surinamese people commented, and they commented with their word par. And as we know from Hindi to Bhojpuri, we tend to see that shift from an L to an R. So we know in Trinidad Bhojpuri, the correct word, or the word that is, true to our linguistic heritage, par or para. And sometimes you'll hear the para used in a folk song. And most commonly, or one that we'll use for reference here, there's a popular sohar that some people might know. And the line goes, Bauhar kone kawana para kailo, horila bara sundaraho. And so the translation of that song is, daughter-in-law, what kind of fruit did you eat? What type of fruit did you eat that your baby is so handsome, so beautiful?
All right, great. Thank you so much. So a nice, good start to the week. We followed up with the word SAGUN, and this seemed appropriate on the eve of Raksha Bandhan. So SAGUN, most of the comments, we had gift, we had also omen. So let's go to you, Dr. Bhimull, for this one. SAGUN.
Right. Those who are Hindi speakers among us would know the word shagun, which by meaning is usually a gift of money or sweet in a wedding ceremony. But again, because we as a people were uprooted during the leadership to our experience in Trinidad and other colonies, the context of its usage was wider pre-partition, pre-independence India, where in any sort of celebration, be it chatti, parahi, weddings, even Raksha Bandhan, which was recent, it is usually in the same context of money or sweet given as a gift, and it would have its roots, I think, in Sanskrit with respect to something that is a blessing, auspicious that you're given. In Indian traditions, we say put something sweet in your mouth. It's supposed to have prosperity, because it drives that dopaminergic system in your brain, as well as money. It does. Sagun, right? Shagun, I think it is in Hindi, and it is that whole idea of giving something prosperous, a positive omen, like money or sweet, in some sort of celebration. In our own unique context.
I haven't come across it in a song, but for Raksha Bandhan, the way I would always hear it growing up is that when my sisters would present me with mithai to eat, when we were exchanging the Rakis, my mom would say that was their sagun. And then in response, me as the brother, their bhai, I would have to give them money. Specifically, they would say put the money in an envelope and put some tulsi with it, and me giving it to them, that money with the tulsi symbolizing prosperity, blessing. That was my sagun to them.
Let's follow up with a Trinidad Bhojpuri phrase or expression, and I think this was really easy. Tu na jane, kaam kare. So we know hum na jane, so we use tu na jane, kaam kare. And the popular response, you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to work, you don't know how to get it done.
Oh no, I don't know.
Yeah, so some people might know Hamna Jani means I don't know. Tuna Jani means you don't know. So let's break this one word by word. Tu is the Hindustani word for you. Na jane, don't know. Kaam kare, to work. Kare is the verb for to do something. And then kaam would be your work, your job, your task. So tu na jane, kaam kare. You don't know to work. Or in Trinidad parlance, you might hear someone say, you don't know to work. And I did notice some people in their answer were saying you do not know how to work. And so you might be asking yourself, well, where's the kaise in this sentence? This is more of a pejorative or negative thing where you're, making fun of someone. You're saying you don't know how to work. You're not asking them and, asking them if they don't know how to work. You're just telling them that they're not good at doing something or that they're not good at working. So you're not actually asking a question that you need the kaise in there.
Right. Now, I noticed this from Sudhir and Dr. Vimal. Maybe you'll be able to keep up with this one. तो ना जाने काम करे, नहीं हम जानत है काम करे, तो के कौन समझाई रे बाबा.
Kori bandar aadmi na jane kaam kare. That's from Sparrow song. Marajan. Yes. So Sparrow actually used it. Yeah. Tu na jane kaam kare. Somebody could be buffing you up and asking you the question. Yes, how to, but in English Creole, when you say can't, you say I don't know how to. We don't say can't in English Creole, Trinidad English Creole. So we got in our Trinidad Bhojpuri specifically, it literally means don't know how to, but it implies I can't, right? So like you ladies would say, I'm budhiya ho gaili. I have become an old woman. Hum na jane kapda dhoye. I can't wash clothes. Hum na jane pakawe. I can't cook anymore, any longer. So, in our context, based on the interviews I would have done, and as per Peggy's explanation, because they came saying using a different verb and saying it how from India. But when you talk now to a person who developed that uprooted culture now and imbibed our English Creole, now they don't use that form. We'll probably exploit in a different segment. They say it in Suriname. They still use that Indian uprooted form there in the Suriname, but we don't use it anymore. We just say "Amna jani" means I can't, but literally means I don't know how to, as implied. Yeah, so when you say I can't do something, you can't do something, you use that don't know how to from English Creole, which you now get in our Trinidad Bhojpuri.
Okay. Let's move on to another Trinidad Bhojpuri word, GAINDA. A pretty word, GAINDA. So everybody said flower, and some were very specific to say marigold and even sent photos as well. So, Dr. Bhimull, why don't you take this one, GAINDA?
And this was quite interesting with regard to people think harmonium is Indian. So one wonders, well, it came from India. People think bandhania is Indian, but one wonders this is a similar story. So the actual marigold flower came from Mexico. That's the actual place it originated. And then there are lots of articles as to well how from Mexico to India, right? So quite interestingly, our colonial history now adds to it, which we can identify with from the diaspora. The Portuguese as well as Spanish colonials obviously went to Mexico. They would have brought through trade now this beautiful flower. Remember, it's a source of money with regard to making it available through trade, and they started now bringing it to India, the Portuguese specifically in Goa, and then it would have spread. I mean, the gainda flower, right, or marigold, I mean, is beautiful one. It smells. A lot of people really can't bear the smell as well, but it smells beautifully. So anything with regard to that entices the human senses, even religiously. So now it had been incorporated in Mexican tradition. It was thought to be a flower given by the sun god because of its color to offer to the dead during the celebration of the Day of the Dead in Mexico. And now it comes with a different tradition here. Gainda, the word gainda, which means marigold. in Trinidad
Right.
Bhojpuri.
And thanks to Nalini who shared Gaina. They say Gaina in Suriname. Vinay, you know some songs with the word Gainda. There's one that immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, so I'll be giving you a Bollywood song and a Trinidad folk song. And the Bollywood song, the name is Gainda Pool, and that's a throwback to previous, tests we've done in the program. Pool is the Hindustani word for flower, so Gainda Pool just means marigold flower. And there's a song by that title from the movie Delhi 6. And some people might find the lyrics kind of amusing. It goes, Saya chira dewe, nanad chutki lewe, sasural genda pool. सैया छेड़ देवे ननद चुटकी लेवे ससुराल गेंदा फूल, which means that your beloved is teasing you, your sister-in-law pinches you, and so your in-laws house is like a genda pool. I think it's kind of alluding to the plight of maybe a new Dullahan in her in-laws home. And then the Trinidadian folk song that we have for reference is from the very popular Ganesh Kirtan group, which is an all-ladies group, still is, that is well known all around Trinidad with their origin in South Trinidad. And that song, Gainda Naturo Maharaj, Gainda More Bhaya Ropawe. That means don't pick the gainda flowers, great king. It's obviously a woman talking to her lover, and she's telling him that her brother is the one who planted those marigold flowers.
Nice. Well, I know many of you enjoyed that one, and you're familiar with those songs. Thank you, Vinay. We wrap up the week with a food-related word, and so we went with GHORAY. GHORAY. And comments coming in: to stir, to mix, mostly to stir and to mix. Let me see. There was Navin. Navin says to stir, usually to dissolve something. And we had Jayant Lal, who is from Fiji, said Naguna Ghore, and made reference to Fiji's national drink, which apparently is a very potent drink. So you have my full attention here. I hope I have the opportunity to try this, which is kava. And you have to ghore that really well. So to stir or to mix, Chanka made mention of sane, which we know is to mix as well, but we use that really, using our fingers to mix in food. Dr. Bhimull, let's go to you for this one. Ghore?
In Hindi, the cognate is the ra becomes la, gholna, gholna, which would become ghore in Bhojpuri, right? So I know we had a discussion that made me think now to kind of explain it and in a way that's better assimilated. So the whirling action to mix, whirl to whirl in a circle, like a spoon, whether it be a thick soup, parasad, you could ghore, yeah, is well ghore when you make any parasad. And then, well, on a modern context, using a blender to make like a milkshake, that is ghore, right? And we had discussed sane. So yes, we know it in the context of curry and rice, or at least it's a curry and bringing it together now, mixing it together before we eat. So in that context, you're kind of folding things in so that it's a folding something. So in that is the context I could think about where it would mean to mix as in the folding like that, which is exactly what you're doing with your hands when you're mixing the curry or chews and stuff. So yeah, ghore means to mix, to shake, to stir.
All right. Vinay, what has been your response for this one?
Yeah, so kind of alluding to what Dr. Bhimull said, as we know, there's so many different uses. A lot of these words have kind of similar meanings, but they're very specific. So as you said, sane can be used to mix, but also folding into each other. We had tested a word many months ago, mahe, and mahe means to churn something, but some people might say mix. And then we know milawe just means mix typically. So this one, I did like that a lot of people answered to stir because it alludes to the circular motion Dr. Bhimull was talking about, and then also with the intent to dissolve. One sentence I've heard, and this is probably applicable to a lot of people, is Kapi me chini GHORAY, which is to stir your sugar into your coffee. Kapi me chini GHORAY. So that's a good sentence that you could use for reference.
Excellent. So I think this was a really good week. We had a healthy interaction. And again, thank you all so much for keeping up with Trinidad Bhojpuri words and phrase. So if you'd like to get in touch with Vinay Harrichan of the Cutlass magazine, here's how you do so.
Yes, you can just follow me at Cutlass Magazine on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or send me a Sundays or a message, Cutlass Podcast, at gmail.com.
And if you'd like to get in touch with Dr. Visham Bhimull of Caribbean Hindustani, here's how you do so.
Yeah, the listeners or viewers could go to our handles at CaribbeanHindustani.org, Caribbean Hindustani channel on YouTube, as well as Caribbean Hindustani on Facebook.
So keep up with these videos and the features you like, you share, you subscribe. You can even have your own conversations. And if you have words that you'd like to suggest, or maybe you're not too sure about a word, you can always just throw it our way, and we'd be more than happy to research and, where appropriate, include in our feature. So once again, thank you everybody, and we'll catch you for the next weekly recap. So Agila Bartlett, the Cutlass magazine, Vinay Harrichan. Hello, Vinay.
Hey, Karen, how are you?
I am well, thank you. And Dr. Visham Bhimull of Caribbean Hindustani.
Kaisan hal, sab koi.
Bahut
No, just bahut acha. That's good. Bahut acha hai. Sorry, we had to do what? Actually, that wasn't unexpectedly, but that is not a script. I had to stick to the script.
Anyway, Glenn have bloopers.
I was thinking of saying Kaisen Hal, but then she caught me off guard when she threw it to me.
Yeah, alright, cool.
So we just say acha, right, Vinay?
Yeah. So we're still going after the script, eh?
Yes, okay.
Okay, so I was saying Kaisan hal and it's sab koi. How is everyone, right? Referring to you specifically.
Okay, all right, so let me start.